Hi, everybody. Thank you for pausing to ponder with us tonight.
Hello, everyone.
If you live in the Midwest, hopefully you enjoyed a lot of warm sunshine today.
Beautiful day.
Excuse the glare over here on my side of my face because, the sun, we can't block the sun out.
We're not apologetic. It's been a long winter. Deal with it.
All right. What are we going to talk about tonight, honey?
I want to talk about an application we titled the Sophomore Jinx.
The Sophomore Jinx.
And I
Sports
thought that,
reference?
Yeah, I thought that would be pretty relevant because we just finished up on the 2020 NFL draft. And as you think about, the potential of all these kids coming out of college and their top athletes, a lot of great potential. Some were drafted obviously higher than others because they're going to make an immediate impact. And you see that all throughout football. The 100 years of football, people come into the league and some make an immediate impact in the game for the team. And then they come back the second year and they think, oh my gosh, if this person did great the first year, they're going to be outstanding the next year. And they lay an egg. They do horrible the second.
Oh.
They put up a donut, I guess. It's a big zero.
You and your analogies here. So I've heard of the Sophomore Jinx, but it wasn't sports related. It was when I was a sophomore in high school. And it was a big warning and joke that, Sophomore Jinx, you were very nervous coming in as a freshman, so you were on top of everything. But now that you're a sophomore, you're getting a little confident and cocky, and very quickly you'll be put back in place.
Yes, this is where the upperclassmen kind of pick on the sophomores because they think there's something they're not.
But really, they're still underclassmen, and they better still focus and make sure they are on top of it, right?
That's right.
Okay, so here's how it applies to what we got going on right now. Starting on Friday, May 1st, beginning of a new month, John and I are going to participate in a progressive fast. Just both of us, just us. We've done it before.
So hold on. Before you tune off, we're not going to try to convince you to go on a fast, all right?
That would be awesome.
No.
We could all do it, and then it's like accountability.
No, guys, we're not asking you to fast. Don't shut your devices off, okay? We're doing it, but we do have an application here that we think we could bless you guys with.
Okay, so we did this progressive fast about a year ago, but I'm going to go back 12 years ago. I don't even remember how long it was. Definitely more than 12. We did a Daniel's fast. It left some scars, let's just say.
It was good and we're proponents to a Daniel fast. We're not saying that it's bad. But
the preparation
yes.
wasn't there. So we did it as a church. We're always on board, right, for unity reasons, but we had no idea to the point that we didn't understand how to read labels. Really, a Daniel's fast. There's nothing but food that grows from the ground. So there's no meat, there's no sugar, there's no milk or dairy. It's only vegetables and fruit and seasonings like herbs and stuff. Okay.
Whatever's grown from the ground is all you eat.
Right. But I remember walking out of a grocery store one time. Well, I was walking in, and a church friend was walking out with no groceries, and I'm like, did you not stock up? He's like, we can't even have tomatoes. I'm like, why not? He's like, my gosh, you look at a can of tomatoes. Do you know how much sugar's in there? I said, whoa. Don't look at the grams of sugar because tomatoes naturally have sugar. Look at the ingredient list. Did they add sugar to the can of tomatoes? No, they didn't. So it's okay. I mean, it was like a revolutionary moment. He's like, are you serious? Oh my gosh, now I can go shopping and I can read my labels differently. So this is the stuff we learned by trial and error, but there was huge health issues. Like I remember you couldn't give plasma because your iron went so low.
In 28 days, I lost like 21 pounds.
Of course you did.
And my body hit a wall. It started to shut down because it was such a drastic change. And we went in it absolutely blind. We did not know anything about it. We didn't do any research. And what you said, we didn't do any preparation. We didn't have the food ready for this. And I love these type of fasts because it really does cleanse you and there's a lot of benefits to it. But make sure you do your due diligence before you go into it.
Right.
So
make
that
sure you understand it.
Yes.
Yeah. Something else too is after this 28-day Daniel's fast, we celebrated at church with a huge potluck where the church bought a ton of pizza and fried chicken.
So we had grease after 28 days of not having.
I'm pretty
anything.
much a purged body. Grease is not what you want to put in your body. I mean, besides the leg cramps and the low iron, we now had massive stomach issues. So there was a lot of lack of education, let's call it. What phase were we in at that moment?
So in training, where you and I spend a lot of time in, there's 4 phases of learning, and I won't get granular in it because it's not the time or the place. But the very first phase of learning anything is you're unconsciously incompetent. In other words, you don't know what you don't know. All right? You're just going in it. You think about new hire orientation when you sit there and you listen to the person training you. You're taking notes because you don't know how it's going to apply to your job. You're just trying to capture it. When half of it might not ever apply to your job, but you don't know that. So you're unconsciously incompetent. And that's kind of where we were in this.
Definitely. And we were trying to follow the rules, we tried tofu. Won't do that again either. But so last year when we decided to do this progressive fast, we have enough of a what is it called? Scar. We have enough of a scar in us that says, any kind of fast like this could be dangerous, that we did some research when we were very purposeful. So the progressive fast, the first week we give up all sugar. All sugar. Unless it's natural, like an apple has natural sugar, a tomato has natural sugar. So that's okay, but no ice cream, no soft drinks, no candy or cookies, nothing like that. And now being progressive, May 1st until the end of the month, we're giving up the sugar.
That carries over every week after that.
So week 2, we give up carbs, the breads, the pastas, and the sugar. Week 3, it's the sugar, the carbs, and no dairy. Week 4, it's the sugar, the carbs, the dairy, and no meat. So there's a progressiveness of it. What's interesting, though, is because of the scars we have from my past experiences, we're having conversations and we're doing some preparation for grocery shopping and for recipes. And the conversations are talking about, hold on, what about apples and bananas and the natural sugars? That's going to be okay. What about Greek yogurt when it comes to the dairy? What about, some of these healthy factors that we know our bodies really do benefit from? So these are the conversations John and I are having. This is the research we're doing too to figure out is almond milk considered a dairy? That's these are the rules we're making for ourselves to follow our progressive fast. So where are we now with our learning?
Well, the second stage is you're consciously incompetent, meaning I now know what I need to know.
Right.
So if you think about
I still don't know what I don't know, but I know what I need to know.
Like the new hire orientation, you know that, this process here doesn't apply to my area, so I don't necessarily need to learn that. I begin to know what I don't know.
Right.
Okay?
So we're still invested.
Yes.
Right? We're still researching, figuring out how our body works, figuring out what constitutes a carb or a dairy or a sugar or whatever. We're still invested and owning this decision.
So the first time we did this progressive fast a year ago, that was the phase we were in. Mm-hmm. We were consciously incompetent, okay? But now we're going to go into it again for the second time.
Yeah.
And now we're consciously competent. I know what I need to know.
Yes.
And that's the third phase. And really, when you think about that, not just in a fast, but in a training environment, in everything we do, whether you're learning how to fly an airplane or doing a tax return, whatever, this is really where you want to live, the third one. Even though there's 4, this is where you want to live because of the value of being present.
Okay, talk about the 4th one right now, because this is where we're going to talk about the dangers.
Okay, the 4th one is you're unconsciously competent. Unconsciously competent, meaning that I've done this for 15 years and no longer am I present and focused and intentional with what I do. Kind of that automated drive just takes over and I just go about it. Now think about this. This is the area of that
Sophomore
phase.
Jinx.
How many of you, when you're driving, you didn't even remember going through that town? You just did it for, like you're going to work or something, and you don't even remember stopping at a stoplight or passing that gas station.
Right.
Because you did it 1,000 times.
Right. It's on auto drive.
It's auto drive. And that's very dangerous because we're not even operating in our conscious cognitive line of our brain, it's just automatic.
So we attempted the progressive fast, I think it was in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 days in.
We didn't do well.
And we're like, you want to go get Dairy Queen? Yeah, we weren't invested. We were not, like the first time I ever did a progressive fast, man, I have things in my calendar and I have reminders every day of things to look at just to keep me present and in the moment and focused in on truly the goal at hand. The second time we tried it last fall, I had none of that. I kind of forgot. That's the sophomore year jinx where, hey, we got this. I've done this before. We got it. But yet you're not invested and you don't have it. There's major mistakes that are happening.
So before we get into, and we really kind of get to the point of this message, which you started to just now there, I want to just kind of ask you a question. What's the advantage of this progressive fast? Why would you even do it? So that's kind of what we've been talking about during the Pause to Ponder. But why? Why are you doing this?
Yes. There's so many reasons. One of the reasons is it's a great time to cleanse your body because sugar is more addictive than heroin. And
That's research, folks.
That's research. I love sugar. Sugar is also, it ruins your brain. I mean, it's no different than alcohol or marijuana. I can't even think of what it's called. Cigarette smoking or vaping, all of that. Sugar is just as detrimental to your brain. I love my sugar and I need to purge my body from it. This quarantine time, we're supposed to take on good habits, I guess. I work out. I'm starting my running again, but my scale is telling me I'm making some really good meals. And I'm making some really good desserts too.
And that's part of the reason why we're doing this progressive fast is because we need to come out of this pretty strong. We have eaten and we've both gained some weight, and probably majority of the people have, because what else is there to do when you're self-quarantining but eat? And she's a phenomenal cook. So we figure as we start to begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully, we want to come out of this strong, and we thought this would be a perfect time to do this progressive fast.
Now, fasting is spiritual. Fasting can be physical. It can be emotional, psychological, intellectual. There's so many reasons why people fast. This is not a spiritual fast. This is totally a physical fast to cleanse my body.
And what I like, guys, if I can explain it this way, you have amazing clarity at the end of this month.
No brain fog.
It's incredibly clear. You look at things from a whole different perspective. And I remember, I won't get into the story, but I remember we were doing an activity and I was like, Kath, I got it. This is how you win this, is by doing this and this and this. And it was just a game, but it was like something I have never thought of.
I think it was Uno.
It was Uno, but I wasn't going to say it. So, it's just, you get incredible amount of clarity. So if you're ever seeking clarity, one of the very first things we should do is start with what we're putting into our body. And I'm not going to lecture you guys, but...
and once you do purge your body of chemicals like that, why would you ever put it back in your body? The hardest part is during this cleanse and during the purge. So then it kick-starts you into a healthy summer. That's my take on it.
And like everything, it's all about your perspective going into it. Yeah. I'm kind of excited. It's kind of fun because it's challenging. It's for 31 days. It's going to be challenging. But I'm not by myself.
I bet you there's 5 Fridays.
I'm not by myself. And, you've always got that person that you can look across to and just kind of look at each other like, okay, all right.
We definitely are accountable based on what the other is doing. Like we go through Dairy Queen. Well, what are you getting? I don't know. What are you getting?
What size are you getting?
Oh, get me a mini. Oh, I'm gonna get a small. Okay, I'll take a small.
All right, so let's jump on the application on life.
Yes. So the application of this is to beware of the sophomore jinx. You may have done something that was successful. Beware when you do it again, because many times we don't have the same investment and the same focus as we did the first time, because now we know something. So be careful with that and give yourself the opportunity to be invested just as you were the first time.
So I think about, recently I made a quilt rack for Kathy, and there's part where you do a circular cut on a saw. And the very first time, man, I am focused because come on, let's just be honest. That saw is really sharp, and if you're not paying attention, you could lose. Well, it could be.
I was thinking you might not get a circle, but you could lose limbs.
It may not be good, right? The second time, I still had that reality. It said, if I'm not focused and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, it could end very badly, very quickly, right? So I was able to focus on that. And that's where I want to bring into, when you're doing something, don't fall into that fourth category of being unconsciously competent. You're not present in that moment. You have got to concentrate and focus at what you're doing. Now, I know that's a little drastic with a saw blade, but I mean, at everything that we do, it does require us to really be kind of focused. Don't get into that auto drive where we can make silly mistakes or huge mistakes.
Well, think about your sophomore year in high school when you're confident and ready to conquer things and you fall flat on your face. When you come in as a junior, you're not even messing around. You messed up as a sophomore. Your GPA is ruined. Now it's time to get back into gear.
You got one more year after this to get your grade point up.
Scholarships come out next year. Let's do it right. And it's just pure focus, and all the other is distractions. And you just let it be a distraction, and you keep your eyes forward. So keep your eyes forward. Be consciously competent in everything you do, whether it's something you've always done and you're good at or something that's brand new.
Yep, don't take it for granted. We hope that this topic has blessed you. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Certainly comment in the area below. Let us know how you stay focused and consciously competent in things that you've done maybe for years. Let us know so we can get better at it as well.
We'll see you next Sunday on day 2 of No Sugar.